Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Dog Owner Training School. I'm Laura, and today we're discussing kind of preventing separation issues in puppies. Because separation issues can cause lots of problems, because really you want a dog that can be left for an hour or so, hopefully a bit longer, if you need to go out. One thing I always do with puppies is making sure that they've got a nice safe space where they can have a sleep away from what else is going on in the family. So it's a nice little quiet space, and it's getting your puppy used to being in this space to have their kind of naps right from as early as you possibly can. So what I've always done with my puppies is right from day one, I tend to use a soft crate, and we discussed these in a few previous live video. So I will set the soft crate up with some nice toys, a comfy bed, give your puppy a chew. I will take the puppy out for the toilet, make sure they've had a bit of a play first, so they're nice and tired. Then I will settle them down in this soft crate. So I will sit with them in the beginning to allow them kind of to drift off to sleep, but I won't be picking them up and handling. I'll standing next to the crate, I'll talk to them, I might put my hand in, but I really want them to kind of learn to settle on their own. Once they're settled and they're calm, I will then walk away from the crate and leave them in there to have a sleep. And the idea is they're learning that it's fine to have a nap. They don't have to be with you all the time. And being in a soft crate, or you can use a playpen, means that they can't follow you around. Because what you ideally want is to have an older dog that will quite happily take themselves off for a nap and not worry about where you are all the time. Because the problem is, if you've got a dog that worries about where you are all the time and they've got to be near you when you're in the house, when you leave the house and you leave them on their own, they then panic because you're not there. So what can they do? So it's much better to kind of teach that independence from as early on as you can. But it needs to be done very carefully. It's really important that you don't just put your puppy in their crate for a sleep and let them scream, because that is not a nice experience for your puppy. Your puppy is not going to learn it's fine to be on their own like that. So you need to be very careful in settling them down. And I'll say I always sit with them, especially in the beginning while they're learning to settle themselves, to give them that reassurance that they're not on their own. And I only creep away once they are asleep. Now, what you can find to help this process is giving your puppy a puppy safe hot water bottle, because it gives them something nice that they can snuggle up to and gives them that comfort. I'd say a chew can also help, because what you want to teach them is it's fine to be on their own. They haven't got to worry about what you're doing. Over time, what you'll find is you can build up to the stage where my adult dogs now, they're downstairs in their bed. If I walk into the room, they might look up at me, but they certainly won't get out of their beds. And then if I turn around and come out of the room again, they're not bothered about following me, they're asleep. So they're not bothered about where I am. If I call them, if I interact with them, brilliant. They'll quite happily interact with me. But they're not worried about where I am in the house. They don't feel they have to follow me around the whole time. But it also means when I go out, they're not bothered. They're quite happy. As I say, if I walk out the front door to go and pick the bins out, or I walk out the door and go shopping, they don't care. They're quite happy. They're nice and comfort, and they're settled in their beds. They're not bothered about where I am. And that's a really important skill for your dog to have, because if your dog has to follow you, as I say, they're a lot more likely to panic when you're not there, because they see you as that source of safety in the house. And what you want is that when you're in the house, they feel safe in their own environment. So that's really important. Now, another thing you can start to do is even put a stair gate up somewhere. So the idea will be is that you can come and go from the room, and it teaches your puppy or your dog that there's nothing to worry about. They can be that bit of independence, rather than, as I say, allowing them to follow you around the whole time, which then causes problems later on. Obviously, I say some dogs are more likely to have separation issues than others. And if you've got a dog that's already developing some signs of issues, let me know, because sometimes you will need a proper treatment plan. The idea of this advice I'm giving here is as much as anything about teaching and preventing those problems, rather than for dogs that already have some issues there. because I say that's a slightly different route we'll need, because you'll struggle to get them to settle. But anyway, so what I would recommend with a new puppy or a young dog is just get them used to being on their own for a bit, but do it in a way that they are happy and comfortable and settled about it. Don't just shut them in the pen, leave them to scream, because that is not a nice experience for them, and they're not learning that being on their own is a good thing. You need them to learn that it's fine, you know, it doesn't matter where you are. I'd say it does take lots and lots of practice there. So it's definitely something worth doing. For those of you that are working at home at the moment, as I say, I wouldn't let your dog follow you around all the time. And although we've been on lockdown, we've got 4 dogs here, I make a point of every day my dogs do spend some time on their own. So the big dogs, we go out for a walk, they get plastered in mud, they come home, and they will then spend an hour or so in the utility, shut in the utility room, as a pair of them, while they dry off. But it means that, again, they're used to being on their own, because that is what I would do if I was going out. I tend to leave them in the utility room. They've got a nice comfort bed and everything else in there. Again, I've got 2 little tiny dogs. I tend to split them up. They do spend time with the big dogs, but I walk them separately and things. They, again, are spending a period of time in their crates, because I tend to crate them when I'm not around for their safety. Because they're so tiny, but they are spending, when I walk the big dogs, I leave the little dogs in their crates, so I am still leaving them for an hour or so every day just to get them in that routine, so that when we come out of lockdown, they don't care. The big dogs are quite happy. They've been chilling for a couple of hours in the utility room every day. The little dogs have been spending time in their crates every day. It's not as if we've all been together and then all of a sudden I go out the house and there's a big problem. Because of course in lockdown, even if when I've been shopping and things for food, the children have been here. So they have not been in the house on their own for a long time. But just giving them that space means they are used to it. So it is definitely something to build into your routine if you haven't got a dog with problems. As I say, slightly different treatment plan if your dog is developing problems, but let me know and I can give you some advice there. So if you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to post them below this video. And I'll say, have a look at the free mini course, because I talk about the importance of sleep and setting up that nice den that we talked about, which I say also is preventing those separation issues. So have a lovely day. I will see you here 10 o'clock again next Monday. I don't know what topic I'll be discussing yet. Please feel free to discuss a topic, or let me know the topic you'd like me to discuss. Obviously these videos are for you and everybody out there, so I want to discuss stuff that you're having problems with. So let me know on the Practical Puppy Facebook group. I'll discuss whatever you want, so let me know. Anyway, have a good day and I look forward to seeing your questions. Bye.